It began in 1974, when the Smurl family moved into their new home on Chase Street, West Pittston, Pennsylvania. To Jack and Janet Smurl, it was a chance for a fresh start. They were a devout Catholic family, hardworking, kind, and close-knit. Jack and Janet moved into a duplex with their daughters and Jack's parents living on the other side. It was supposed to be their forever home. But from the moment they stepped inside, something felt wrong. At first, it was subtle. Water stains appeared on freshly painted walls. Old pipes banged and groaned loudly, even when not in use. The television would suddenly catch fire, radios would switch channels on their own. Drawers opened and slammed shut without explanation. Toilets flushed when no one was near. These weren't just odd occurrences, they felt like warnings. Then, the smell came. A foul stench, like rotting flesh, filled the rooms at night. No matter how much Janet cleaned, it wouldn't go away. The family began hearing whispers, faint voices, murmuring in corners and hallways, voices that were there, yet nowhere. It wasn't long before things escalated. Janet began seeing dark shadows dart across the walls. Jack would feel cold spots, even in the middle of summer. Then came the banging, loud, crashing noises that shook the walls and ceiling, often in the dead of night. They thought maybe it was just the house settling, or maybe animals in the attic. But one night, everything changed. Janet was in the kitchen when an unseen force lifted her off the ground and threw her across the room. Her daughter Dawn would later report being pinned down in her bed by something invisible. One of the children saw a faceless figure floating above their bed. Jack was physically assaulted by an unseen entity. Something scratched him. Something pushed him. Something whispered his name. The family was under siege. When they turned to the church for help, their cries were met with skepticism. The local priest blessed the home, but the activity didn't stop, it intensified. Lights exploded. Dishes levitated and shattered midair. Even Jack's mother suffered a heart attack in the house, though no direct link was made. Jack and Janet were exhausted. Spiritually drained. Emotionally battered. The haunting wasn't just threatening their sanity, it was destroying their family. Desperate and running out of options, the Smurls reached out to the most renowned demonologists in the country, Ed and Lorraine Warren. It was 1986. The Warrens had faced demons before. They'd walked through haunted prisons, cursed homes, and even battled entities in the Amityville horror case. But what awaited them in the Smurl home would be unlike anything they had encountered. Ed Warren was a religious demonologist. Lorraine, a clairvoyant and trance medium. Together, they entered the Smurl residence, and immediately, Lorraine felt it. A dark, suffocating presence. She later said it was one of the worst cases they had ever investigated. The Warrens believed the family was under attack by a powerful demonic entity, perhaps more than one. Ed claimed to have recorded growls on audio tape, guttural, inhuman sounds that could not be explained. Lorraine, during one of her walkthroughs, saw a beast-like shadow in the basement, glaring at her. They described the demon as half man, half animal, black and smoky, with blazing red eyes. What's chilling is how the demon seemed to feed off fear. The more terrified the family became, the stronger it grew. Ed believed it had attached itself to the Smurls for a purpose, to wear them down, to destroy their faith, to possess one of them. The Warrens brought in priests to perform multiple blessings and attempted minor exorcisms. But time after time, the demon resisted. It fought back, violently. Ed and Lorraine were not unharmed either. Ed reported being physically attacked while praying in the home. Lorraine became emotionally drained, requiring days to recover from her psychic encounters. This entity didn't just want to scare, it wanted to punish anyone who dared interfere. Public attention eventually caught wind of the Smurl family's torment. Some accused the Warrens and the Smurls of fabricating the story for fame. Others believed something truly sinister was at play. But the Smurls stood by their story. Why would a family go through such humiliation, if not to seek help. As media swarmed the home, the family's suffering continued behind closed doors. Jack claimed to have been sexually assaulted by the demon. The daughters were constantly terrified. They slept with lights on. No one was ever alone. The Warrens were convinced this was a case of true demonic infestation, a slow burn meant to completely erode the family's spirit before possession could occur. Eventually, the Catholic Church sent in a bishop to perform a sanctioned exorcism. It was long. It was intense. And according to the Warrens and the Smurls, it worked. The activity began to wane. The smell faded. The shadows disappeared. But peace came slowly, and never entirely. Even after moving out in the late 1980s, the Smurls reported occasional activity in their new home. They claimed the demon tried to follow them, though never with the same strength. In 1988, the case was published in a book titled The Haunted, written by Robert Curran with the help of the Warrens. Later, it was adapted into a made-for-TV movie in 1991, but the real story, the family said, was far more terrifying than anything on screen. To this day, many debate what truly happened in that house on Chase Street. Some say it was psychological stress. Others accuse the Warrens of embellishment. But to the Smurls, the horror was real. Ed and Lorraine never backed down from the case. They continued to defend the family until their final days. For them, this wasn't about publicity. It was about faith, about evil, and about protecting the innocent from something beyond our understanding. The Smurl Haunting remains one of the most disturbing cases the Warrens ever investigated, not because of blood or violence, but because of how the darkness seeped into every corner of an ordinary family's life. A haunting that didn't just shake a house. It shook the soul.